Hey guys, and welcome. Got a bit of a treat for you Total War Warhammer 2 fans. It may be 2022, we're still going to be playing some Total War Warhammer 2 today, however, and it's going to be an awesome game. It's a bit of a veteran showdown with ODM's Tretch taking on ODM's Dacta. I believe Dacta is in charge of the forces of the Empire, and Tretch has fallen in with the treacherous Greenskins. Two very competitive builds in what was a pretty hotly contested matchup back in the day. Interested to see how this one does perform. I'm a big fan of this formation from the Empire, very spread out, and a nice chunk of mobility to boot as well. So in the main battle line, it is swordsmen dotted all the way along. Pretty fearsome. They're here to die in the name of Sigma, hopefully live in the name of Sigma, but also die if it comes down to it. Spearmen on the flanks as well as in the rear. Certainly not a shabby little formation. In the centre, we do have double huntsmen, and right in that middle pocket, we have the silver bullets, regiment renowned handgunners. Even in a matchup against Greenskins where you don't really expect too much armor, of course they have Black Orcs and one or two other units, but regardless if your opponent's going to have armor or not, the silver bullets are always a fantastic take. The fact that they have Stalk is really useful, and they just do big burst damage to whatever they hit. In the back line, we have triple Knights of the Blazing Sun, which is bad to the bones. I love the Knights of the Blazing Sun. You don't get to see them terribly often. Also, actually, I suppose you see them a lot more than Reichsguard, but hey, Knights of the Blazing Sun sometimes get left behind. But against Greenskins, I definitely like them. Those flaming attacks can really help out and deal with trolls as well as Grom and all the nastiness of a giant river troll hag. River Bright Wizard down on the ground. Fireball and a Burning Head are going to be his weapons of choice. And then we have the dreaded Volkmar the Grim, the mustache-twirling villain of the Empire. He is certainly incredibly powerful. I think he's been the best Empire Lord for years at this point. Such a powerful weapon. The forces of the Greenskins opposing the tyrannical rule of Volkmar the Grim. We do have some Savage Orc Boar Boys, which is pretty damn cool to see on the flanks. A load of cheeky Orc Boys and Savage Orcs making up the majority of the battle line, and some more Savage Orc Boar Boys on the left-hand side, as well as in the centre we have the Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Couple of chariots, looks like 3 Orc Boar chariots, which is pretty impressive stuff. They can really drive through, shut down huntsmen, shut down handgunners, and be a big nuisance if they're not countered by cavalry. Luckily for the Empire, they do have a considerable amount of that. We have a Goblin Big Boss down on his little spider, going to be scuttling towards the enemy, and Wurzag, who is just by far and away the coolest lord. He has Effigy of the Git, he has Edbutt, he has Brainbuster, as well as Gaze of Morg, and of course a Bonewood Staff and Squiggly Beast. Very powerful, was much more powerful back in the days before, like, there was so many tools to Lord Snipe and so on. But if you can protect him, he can really do some significant damage. Looks like the Greenskins going to be bomb rushing as quickly as possible towards the enemy formation. Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers going to be taunting some of the swordsmen in the front, waving their bums at them in the air, spitting at them, throwing feces, doing what you do in your standard day as a human, but in Goblin form it's a little bit more cute. Now, the Orc Boys are going to be pushing forwards towards the Swordsman. And look at this, yeah, Volkmar just pushes out. This is just through a real estate, baby. Up on top of those Savage Orcs, obliterate a unit, take no damage, and simply laugh and walk backwards. There are some Orc Boy Biggins who could have counter-charged there. A little bit too slow on the draw, unfortunately, a little bit far away. Not the swiftest of cavalry units. Chariots are diving through the front line on the Swordsman, though. The Knights of the Blazing Sun charge in. The Grand Shoulder of Faith fills their heart as the Hammer of Sigma comes crashing down onto the Orc Boar chariots. Looks like the Boar Boys are going to be falling back. Unfortunately, Banishment does miss there on the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, who's charging. A lovely charge on the Knights and some pretty big damage. We do get some Brain Busters going down on the Silver Bullets, as well as the Edbutts and so on, doing some pretty decent damage there. Knights of Blazing Sun are currently stretched pretty thin. Wherever the Orc Boar Boy Biggins go, death follows, and this left-hand flank for the Empire is getting overrun pretty comfortably. Savage Orcs are trying to push into the back line, and we still have some Forest Goblin Spider Riders, Kite and Spearmen having a good time, and yeah, just enjoying their life. Orc Boar Chariots now going to be aiming at the Silver Bullets. They've not been active too long, unfortunately. They've taken significant damage. They are trying to last samurai some of the Savage Orc Boar Boys. Keep going, lads. Just keep fighting in the name of Sigma. No! Blood and guts flies all over the place as chariots clatter in. A lovely heroic charge from the Knights of the Blazing Sun, trying to rescue the Silver Bullets. Unfortunately for them, they get countered by Savage Orc Boar Boys, but the Spearmen are on the approach, looking to pin in the cavalry, with the might of Volkmar guarding their back. Huntsmen are raining shots in. Unfortunately, though, for them, we do get a war going down. The Orc Boar Boys really want to push through here on their chariots and overwhelm the enemy, but likewise, fighting on top of all their infantry does keep them a little bit more safe from those pesky Knights of the Blazing Sun. Looks like we get a fat burning head go down the line, roasting some more of the Gobbo infantry, which is a decent idea. It does catch some of the spearmen, but hey, as I said at the start of the video, they're here to die in the name of the Empire. We do have a unit of Knights of Blazing Sun caught by an effigy of the Git. That's going to allow the Savage Orc Boar Boys to charge in. Lovely 2-for-1 punch there. Coming in, clattering, dragging down the Knights into the muck and trampling over them. And I've been told boars will eat a man, even heavily armored man, whole here for a nice afternoon snack. So rest in peace, these Knights of Blazing Sun. We hardly knew thee. Now, it looks like Wurzak is relatively healthy. He's still rolling dirty with his Greenskin Cavalry, which I love to see the Greenskin Cavalry get its moment in the sun. It was pretty bad for the majority of Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1, but certainly got a little bit better towards the end there. So Orcs can be pushing in with the Orc Boar Chariots. They've overwhelmed the majority of the Spearmen, and the Chariots could float back here and get rid of these Swordsmen in a big key engagement. We've got the Goblin Big Boss in here trying to help the Greenskins hold. We have the Skirmish Cav even chucking themselves into combat, but it looks like the Knights of the Blazing Sun as well as Huntsmen are holding it relatively well in the centre here. And look who's back once again. The Silver Bullets give no damns to your petty morale penalties. They're continuing to come back time and time again. Only up to 9 kills, unfortunately, and 329 value as an Ed Buck comes in. They're very brave lads. They've come back to the fight multiple times. Unfortunately, they've not been very skillful today, getting dragged down by some good play by the Greenskin player. Very hotly contested game so far. Decent amounts of cavalry still floating around, up to no good. Starting trouble in the Swordsman neighbourhood. Looks like they've managed to push a lot of them over, and I don't think the Swordsman will be long for this world, but the Silver Bullets are continuing to fire. We do get a Brain Buster busting into existence, overwhelming the Spearmen, doing some decent damage, but Volkmar the Grim is so healthy, and I don't know what's going to kill him. I guess we have a mixture of the Goblin Big Boss and Wurzak combined. Might be able to take down the terror in the night, which is Volkmar the Grim. We've got a few units who can come back as well. Looks like we've got some Savage Orcs who are a little bit idle here with the Orc Boar Chariots. So it looks like they are now being reactivated and coming back into the action. We have Forest Goblin Spider Riders poking down the enemy from afar. And look at this 2-for-1 juicy sandwich. We have Wurzak. Actually, he's decided to cast some spells instead. He's a popping shot of Volkmar. Probably not the best idea. I believe Volkmar has like ridiculous magic resistance, though. Probably better to come over here and finish off the Bright Wizard, I would think. The Goblin Big Boss is doing fine, though, on his own. Decapitating the Bright Wizard's flaming head and holding it aloft as a trophy for all Greenskins to rally behind. We got some Orc Boar Chariots still can move in and hunt down the Huntsmen. They don't really want to get involved in this combat for now, though, because they were getting buffed up. And now the buff's gone, yeah, you can definitely move your Orc Boar Chariots in there to get down and dirty. The Silver Bullets have been forced off. They're retreating, trying to save their own skin. The Chariots have been shattered, unfortunately. Bounce powers are relatively even still, but Volkmar the Grim is going to be a nightmare to contend with. We have 42 Savage Orcs who have just managed to rally here on the periphery of the battlefield. Definitely getting them to jump those Spearmen would not be a bad idea whatsoever. And we're going to get a Brain Buster once again go down on some Spearmen looking to break them. We've got a nice little pocket of strength here. 49 Savage Orcs and 40 Savage Orcs certainly isn't too shabby. Goblin Big Boss is about to get jumped by some swordsmen, but decides instead to scuttle away as fast as possible and leave them in the dust. Look at his movement. He's such a cool monster. Moving over here, maybe hunt down some of the Empire troops. And it looks like the Empire are pretty broken themselves here. The Huntsmen not going to do too good if they get shut down by the Orc Boar Chariots. And the Greenskins definitely have the better army left on the battlefield, but they don't have a Volkmar, and that could prove pretty crucial in this fight. It looks like we do get an FG to get pinning in Volkmar the Grim. Not a bad use of it there. That's basically going to seal the demise of the Huntsmen, as it allows the Orc Boar Chariots to just circumvent Volkmar, get down here, finish off this unit while he's busy. Looks like he does receive another Gaze of Mork to the face. I really don't think it's going to do any damage to him. They need Stabbing's gone down. Let's see his magic resistance. Yeah, 40% magic resistance. It's really not that much worth popping shots to him, I don't think. They need Stabbing Havers, definitely useful. Combined with the Goblin Big Boss and Wurzak, they can really start to do some decent damage to Volkmar, particularly with his armor and melee defense neutral like this. Grand Hammer Sigma goes down, though, meaning he's going to have to deal with that Goblin Big Boss. The Sigma Sons are still here. Definitely want to try to do those snipes, but not necessarily when he's on that Unbreakable Infantry. Huntsmen have been dealt with. The Lone Chariot unit can finish off the majority of the Empire Infantry if they can keep mobile and roll around on top of them all day long. Savage Orcs do decide to fall back. Looks like we get a Brain Buster go down on the Sigma Sons. I think it's a really good use of their time. Pop in spells and try to get rid of these unbreakable troops, because they're quite a big problem at the moment for the Greenskins, it would seem. Savage Orcs are terrified by Volkmar. I do not blame them. He terrifies me as well. I wake up in cold sweats, screaming for Sigma, Faith, Steel, and Gunpowder and all that stuff, just in case he's watching. Swordsmen are rallying a little bit here. Grand Hammer of Sigma and Grand Shield of Faith goes down on them. The Goblin Big Boss and Wurzak gonna have their work cut out. I'm still really worried for the Greenskins. I think they've handled the game relatively well. It's been a very close game, hotly contested. very back and forth. I thought the Empire had a really fantastic start to battle, and the Greenskins kind of crawled their way back into it. But Volkmar the Grim, full health. They're not going to be able to burst him down realistically to get through that regen, and he's now really cleaned up all the infantry. The fact the Empire have managed to consolidate a lot of their forces together is certainly some pretty scary stuff, because now Volkmar can protect them, where before the Orc board chat was just running them down wherever they go. And it looks like the Spearmen are receiving charges from the Chads and not breaking anymore, because they see Volkmar's gaze upon them and they know they will get to live 1,000 times in the name of the Emperor if they will but die for him once. And it seems like the Savage Orcs have been forced off. They are out and trying to save their own skin. But a few more Savage Orcs coming in. It looks like there's going to be a big snipe attempt. This is kind of the last chance for the Greenskins, I think, to get into this, is they've popped the big old fat they need stabbing down on Volkmar. They need to try and assassinate him now, maybe drop a brainbuster down on all this infantry at the same time, and break them off the battlefield. I think it's the only way. We have Savage Orcs coming in, we have Forest Goblin Spider Riders coming in, but the longer the game goes on, the more healing Volkmar is going to get going on him, and the majority of the Greenskins have started to run. Band's power is moving faster and faster into the hands of the Empire. And yeah, you can try and cycle charge with Wurzag as well as the Goblin Big Boss. I don't think it's going to matter. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting the inevitable now. Volkmar's simply going to clean up all these other units, stick on top of his own infantry, fight on top of them where possible, and break the hearts of greenskin lovers everywhere. It is just a Pyrrhic victory. The men of the Empire lost many. There's going to be a lot of families very upset where their papas do not come home to them, but it is what it is, and if it's in the name of Sigma, they died well. Well played to ODM's Tretch and ODM's Dacta. Really awesome game between these two lads. Good to see some top tier play here as well from both of them. A very hotly contested showdown. Was particularly impressed here with Dacta's play with Volkmar, just ensuring he fought on top of his objectives or on top of his units at all times, as well as his silver bullets. Despite the fact they did basically nothing, the fact they kept going back and getting into shooting situations must have been such a pain for Mr. Tretch there. But I think he did a really good job shutting down the back line, swarming, and it's always good to see the cavalry and yeah, the chariots as well. They're a little bit OP for a while, I seem to remember. So, less good to see them, but the Orc Cav, I love seeing the Orc Cav actually do well, because they were so bad for so long. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a change in a Total War Warhammer 2 game here, just for a bit of variety in the factions. I will continue to do some Warhammer 2 replays. So if you do enjoy them, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below, and like and subscribe to the channel. It's basically just all the good signs that, hey, I'd like to see more Warhammer 2 stuff, and if people want to see it, I'll happily do it. I'll be back probably to Warhammer 3 stuff tomorrow. I think I'm going to be streaming on Twitch today, but not my Twitch. On Logic_EU's Twitch is my housemate, and I think we're going to be streaming a run-through of LEGO Lord of the Rings. We can unfortunately only do it on one person's Twitch, because it's a pain in the ass to get done on two computers, so we're going to be playing on the same computer. But I'll make sure to upload that to YouTube so you guys can check it out in the future. Links below to Twitch, Patreon, Discord, all that good juicy stuff. But until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.